It's March, and this is the Library Roadshow. On the show today, the library's going to the dogs, plus food, history, and so much more. Welcome to the March edition of the Library Roadshow. I'm Mary Stein, and this is a production of your East Baton Rouge Parish Library System. March is going to be simply delicious as we serve up a good time with our One Book, One Community series featuring the book Tasting History by Max Miller. Max's popular podcast delves into the historical context around food and food traditions, and his book explores the past through 4,000 years of recipes. We sure like to eat, so challenge accepted. The free kickoff takes place at the main library on Goodwood on Friday, March 8th from 5 to 7 p.m., featuring music from RJ and Zydeco Smooth. You'll sample some delectable goodies created by Chef Odom and enjoy plenty of games and activities for the whole family. We'll also lay out the Edible Book Festival inside for your entertainment. You're invited to bring in your own entry, and as you may have seen in our previous events, the worse the pun, the better. Plus, attendees serve as judges for the Edible Book Fest. We don't care if you stack the deck or bribe the judges. Last year, kids won for their Follow the Jello Brick Road. Previous winners have been War and Peas, Skittle Women, The Bun Also Rises. You get the picture. I already have my entry planned out. Other events this month related to our culinary theme include Chef Philippe Parola, the International Taste Fair, Novels and Nightcaps, and Tasting History with the Advocates Jan Risher. Check out the info guide at readonebook.org and see what's cooking in this month's deep dive in the source. Our new director, Katrina Stokes, has hit the ground running. Steel is really going up for the new South Branch Library, which means that the concrete pour is close behind. It was hard hat city as Katrina and other staffers walked the site for the first time since breaking ground. And the Phase 1 of the Scotlandville Branch Library renovation project is also well on its way. You can expect to see steel-grade beams there soon. Both of these projects should be complete within 12 months. You can track progress on the construction info guides for each branch. We update the website every week, and remember, these projects are already paid for with no bonds or indebtedness. Thanks to all who participated in the survey about the design needs for the library's new website. Your input is important to help us create the most effective, responsive site. Interestingly enough, this month's featured patron on Libraries Change Lives is no stranger to library technology. John Walker, co-founder of Hubbly, used the library for co-working space as he and his partners grew their business into one of Baton Rouge Business Report's best places to work. Don't forget the library's small business service now offer open office hours each Thursday afternoon, as well as by appointment. Gardens are blooming, and Garden Discoveries and the Master Gardeners have you covered with some great programs this month, including some topics that pair nicely with our Tasting History theme. We're also hosting several excellent historical programs, one on the West Feliciana Historical Society Museum, and a second Women's History Month program led by law professor Angela Allen Bell. Several fabulous cultural opportunities this month with free concerts by the Civic Orchestra and the EBR School's talented music students. Then a Celtic concert experience with Lady Chops and Madame Dulcimer, the Kids Orchestra, and even Tim the Magician. It's also Dr. Seuss's birthday, so expect me to be throwing down some green eggs and ham to go with our One Book, One Community theme, while our children's room staff put on their red and white striped hats and celebrate the good doctor all over the parish. So much to do at every branch throughout the system. You'll just have to read all about it in this month's issue of The Source. Available in print and online at ebrpl.com.
Free access to books, audio, and library resources are just a few of the benefits available to you when you get a library card. Need free access to a computer? You get that. Want free access to premium digital resources like Mango Languages and lynda.com? You get that. Need to book a meeting space? You get that. Heck, you can even check out a telescope or use a digital printer with your library card. If you live in East Baton Rouge Parish, pick up your free library card from your local branch library today. Premium access to everything the library system has to offer is waiting for you.
The library supported kids' love of comics for decades, and some days it seems we just can't keep them on the shelf. So how about access to a digital comics collection where the issues are never missing? It's time to find out in the digital download.
For comic and graphic novel fans, the library offers access to thousands of digital comics through Comics Plus. You can read comics online using any device with a browser or read them through the free Library Pass app. There are no holds, wait lists, or monthly borrowing limits. All you need to get reading is your library card. Popular publishers you'll find include Boom Studios, Image Comics, Tokyo Pop, and dozens more. The library offers 2 highly curated separate collections to ensure age-appropriate content. There is one for teens only and one for children. In the children's collection, you'll find titles like Big Nate, Minecraft, and My Little Pony. In the teen collection, you'll find titles like Stranger Things, Astro Boy, and reimagined literary classics. Don't forget you can find more graphic novels through the library collection in the Libby app. You'll find Comics Plus and much more in the digital library at ebrpl.com.
Some people are surprised we offer comics and graphic novels in the library, but we say anything that keeps kids reading is a good thing to have. And let's not forget, many of our readers are adults. They want comics too. Let's shift gears now and go beyond the stacks.
Good day, I'm Browna Perkins at Capital Area United Way. I serve as their Senior Community Impact Manager. United Way is having their annual Super Tax Day where we provide free tax prep for all of our community in Baton Rouge. So it's a little rainy outside and we got a little cold weather, but that has not deterred people from showing up, getting their taxes done. It's an important thing to get done for the year. So people are saying regardless of the weather, we're going to get this job done. The process of Super Tax Day is honestly just show up with all of your year financials, W-2s, 1099s, your ID, your social security number, and then basically you get your taxes done here by volunteers. This is a volunteer-run initiative. There's no appointments needed unless you want to get scheduled an appointment. Then you have that ability to do it here. But you just show up with all your proper documents and you're good to go. You get your taxes done and you don't have to worry about it. So the in and out time to get your taxes prepared, it does vary depending on how much financial history you have for the past year. If you have a simple W-2, we could possibly get you out of here in about 30 minutes. It's just plugging in, making sure all the information is correctly and submitting your taxes. But if you have like a Schedule C or you've done like Uber or DoorDash or something like that, then we have to talk about a little bit of deductions that may be available. Man, it's super important for Capital Area United Way to have a relationship, and I'm talking about a good, consistent relationship with the library. And here at the Goodwood Library, for instance, we use it all throughout the month of January for our trainings. We use it to host events. It serves as a wonderful venue for events because the community always knows where their library is. It's almost like a second home away from home or a second office, you know, when you're away from the office. So having a library is that center, it's the heartbeat of a community where you can always gather the community. It's a safe space for not just families, but kids and everyone else that may need a safe place to land in the community. They're all familiar with where the library is. And so Capital Area United Way, we always utilize our libraries because they're an easy venue and everybody knows about them.
We're so appreciative of the great work done by the United Way and our VITA volunteers. Stay right there after the break. Ann Milneck of Red Stick Spice Company joins me for a chat right here on the Library Roadshow.
The East Baton Rouge Parish Library believes that preparing children to enter kindergarten is good for us all. That's why we created Press Start. an early learning initiative that provides a free activity booklet every month that explores early literacy skills through play and interaction at home. Get a library card. Sign up for Press Start at ebrpl.com/kids.
You're watching the March edition of the Library Roadshow, everything you need to know about your local library system. Now, once we selected Tasting History as the featured title for this year's One Book, One Community, we knew who to call to add some local flavor to the series. And Milneck is well known throughout the region for her work as a purveyor of fine culinary items at the Red Stick Spice Company. And whether it's a custom blend of loose tea, gourmet cooking classes, or the latest issue of C'est Bon, Anne does it all. She'll be joining us at the kickoff on March 8th, but she's also joining me right here, right now.
Hi, Mary.
Okay, so Anne, how did your fascination with spice and tea begin?
So I'm a trained chef, and I found it later in life. I went to school when my children were in elementary school. I went back to school and got my culinary degree, and I had a small catering company after I graduated, and it wasn't a good fit for my family at the time. And Red Stick Spice was up for sale. And I had gotten to know the owners, and they asked, do you want to buy our shop? And I said, yes.
Okay.
So the spices and oils and balsamics all made sense to me as a chef, because I was like, oh, sure, we can figure out lots of things to cook with all these items. And so
and you have.
Yeah, and expanded in more locations and expanded 3 times. And now we teach cooking classes.
I know it.
And we are the place for tea in Baton Rouge.
And all things spice,
yes,
too.
Yes.
And it's beautiful. It smells so good. And y'all are always so interested in increasing our knowledge of food. Because why is food important? Why is food important here in Baton Rouge?
Well, it's important because it's part of how our culture came together. So the food and the search for food and being able to find food, and a lot of these really areas, when you think about where the Acadians settled and what they had to do to sustain life. I mean, it's just part of really survival.
It's part of history.
Yes.
And
yes.
that's why we're tasting history.
Yes.
Now, you have planned several wonderful programs that are going to complement our culinary theme for One Book, One Community. Let's talk about tea and literature first. We'll be doing that in April. And I imagine there's tea and literature, but you know the details.
Yes. So this was a fun dive for me when I planned this talk. And I'm excited to be able to bring it to the library. Immediately we go to Jane Austen. That's a pop fly.
That's right.
Yes, that one's easy. But boy, I took a dive into Mulan and the Ladies' #1 Detective Agency and the teas and what tea is used as a literary device. But tea is also really interesting in these books because some authors really get very specific. They're not just having tea, but they get specific about the types of tea. And I wanted to know why. So it's not only about the tea, it's about the authors and their relationship with tea, how they were using it, whether it had something to do with teas they enjoy, or if it was simply a way for them to move from scene to scene and character to character.
Right, it's immersive, isn't it?
Yes, yes. So we're going to be talking about different pieces of literature and the tea they consume, and we're going to taste.
I love that. Okay, now you've also whipped up a little something special with the cooking classes.
Yes, yes. So we're going to be hosting 2 cooking classes at Red Stick Spice. We're not going to launch them on the website until One Book, One Community launches, and then that'll be available to anyone to sign up and take that class. And I went through Max Miller's book, his YouTube channel, his website, and we landed on some really fun recipes. So one recipe we have not done in the Teaching Kitchen yet is peach melba.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Yes, yes. So I thought that would be a perfect dessert
and
for
a
the class.
spring dessert.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. And then we're going to dive into Wiener Schnitzel.
Okay.
And I love the history of that. It's a little bit, Max covers a little bit more of a modern history because at least here, I went to LSU and Wiener Schnitzel on...
Oh, Der Wiener Schnitzel is the hot dog place.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I remember
So
that from the 70s.
That's what I thought Wiener Schnitzel
no,
was.
it's not that.
And so I love how he breaks that down and explains it. Well, we will make proper Wiener Schnitzel.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now, how do folks find more about you and everything that's offered at Red Stick Spice Company?
So redstickspice.com is where you'll find cooking classes that you can sign up for and all the events that we're doing. And of course, you can browse the products. And then on your website, you'll have links to how folks can attend tea and literature and go to the cooking classes.
All right. I am looking forward to not only seeing, but smelling, and then maybe a little tasting my way through history with you.
Yes.
And on a separate note, I'm challenging you and your crew to throw down against me at the Edible Book Fest.
So we communicate in Slack, and there is a Slack channel dedicated to April 1 and the plan for it. So I guarantee you my staff will bring their A game.
Show me what you got.
Yes.
Okay, because I'm ready. After the break, author Terry A Lindsey, plus book reviews from one of our younger library patrons. All that and more coming up next on the Library Roadshow.
The East Baton Rouge Parish Library believes that supporting the education of students is good for us all. That's why we provide access to live, in-person, online tutoring through Homework Louisiana, make available free test preparation tools through Learning Express, plus reference tools for all ages. Get a library card. Get free education at ebrpl.com/homeworkhelp.
Welcome back to the March edition of the Library Roadshow. They say that inspiration is the child of experience. So what do you do in retirement after careers as both an engineer and a pastor? You become an author, obviously. That's what my next guest did. Terry A. Lindsey joins me now to talk about his books and his third career as an author. How did you get started as an author?
The short answer is that I love to read, which leads me to writing. As a young child, reading allowed me to venture into an unknown world. I spent 35 years as an engineer and project manager where reading most of the time was restricted to specifications, diagrams, and PowerPoint presentations for my work. In parallel to an engineering career, I have been a pastor for 24 years now, preparing for weekly sermons. After I retired from my secular career in 2013, it was just a natural progression to take my experience in all aspects of my life and write blogs. Some were about travel, some about my work, and many were about my spiritual journey. I have well over 200 blog posts now at www.alookintotea.com. The journey continues.
What are your books about?
My books are about, the first one's called Sticks and Stones. It takes a dystopian view of technology, namely artificial intelligence or AI, published by Page Publisher out of New York in 2018, well before AI was such a hot topic. What could happen if we lose the ability to speak, write, or even acknowledge the word? Welcome to the machine. Flicker of Promise, my second book, is a follow-up to my first one, published in 2020, where some of the characters mentioned completes the story of what could happen if we lose our ability to think as individuals. A Chime in Time, my third book, was written on about my mother-in-law's life, from a girl bombed out in her home in England during World War II and the Westminster Quarters chime clock that traveled with her. We are celebrating her 100th birthday on December 27th this year in England. This book was published in 2022 and covers family history back to World War I through COVID, isolation, and beyond. My fourth book, One Cubic Yard, published this year, considers the 7 days of creation in a scientific perspective aligned with mass extinctions. Are we really in control? Is there If there was a beginning, will there be an ending?
What inspired you to write at the very beginning?
I may have already answered this question already. As for me, I believe readers are leaders. After I retired in 2013, I could use my discretionary time to read more and segue to writing. The last 4 books described above were self-published through Amazon, Kindle, direct publishing. I learned a lot from my first book and saw it more convenient and less expensive to be an indie author. My current ongoing book has no ending yet, as it is episodic book called Brevenem, which is my definition of a sentence containing titles of brief stories. These stories are from my original blog post, so each episode is a bigger story from smaller ones. I continue to publish blogs, which in turn may become part of this or other books. You can find that on Amazon as well.
What advice would you share with aspiring authors?
Never give up on your desires to share with the world your stories. Start small by writing down your thoughts, no matter how messy it may seem to you at the time. Your thoughts may just grow into your first child. An author once told me that once you produce your first book, it's like birthing a child. You have gone through the pain, and now it is alive and will grow. None of us know how well it will do in the world, but it is still yours to be proud that you did it. Marketing your book is up to you. I have seen many buy huge inventories that may have a long time to sell actively one at a time. My advice is to take small steps and learn what is best for you in your creation. Good luck and look forward to reading your masterpiece.
How can our viewers learn more about you?
It's easy. Just go to my author's portal at www.amazon.com/author/Terry Lindsey. Thank you.
Thanks, Pastor Lindsey. When you enter your local branch library, there's no telling what you might see. Laser printing? A live orchestra? How about a room with 50 dogs in it? Yep, that happened.
We've got Cocker Spaniels, Whippets, Giant Schnauzers, Miniature Schnauzers, Pugs, you name it, we've probably got one.
Whether you're a proud pet owner or you're looking for your first pup, the library can help you out. We're here at the main library at Goodwood to learn about it from the local experts, Baton Rouge Kennel Club. Let's check it out.
My name is Chris Reed. I'm with the Baton Rouge Kennel Club, and I'm a member of our board of directors. The Baton Rouge Kennel Club is an AKC-sponsored club, American Kennel Club, and our main purpose is to champion purebred dogs and sports associated with purebred dogs. Today we're at the East Baton Rouge Parish Public Library, the main branch on Goodwood, and we're hosting a Meet the Breeds event. And this gives the public a chance to come out and see a wide variety of dogs, all shapes and sizes, and to learn more about them. I see a lot of different people, lots of different breeds, and again, they're all good representatives of their breed type, and that's what we wanted. We wanted people to bring out everything from the big dogs to the little ones to the hairy ones to there's one over there that's kind of naked looking, and just everything in between, because we want the public to be able to see what a variety there are in purpose-bred dogs. That's a really good question on how to get the right type of dog for your family. And one's coming to events like this, meeting people and meeting different breeds. There's some resources online with the American Kennel Club that actually have a breed selection tool where you answer lots of different questions. Everything from your lifestyle, do you have an apartment or a house, a yard, how much time do you have available for training, all those kind of questions, because they all play into what's the best breed of dog for you and your family. So yeah, we're very fortunate that the library, the East Baton Rouge Parish Library System, sponsors events like this. It's all free of charge, both to us and the public, and it's really a great venue for folks to come out and learn more about purpose-bred dogs and what they're all about.
Learn more about pet ownership resources at the library through our catalog or in the events calendar at ebrpl.com.
Dogs make great reading friends. They never judge, so our reluctant readers can really blossom and grow in confidence as they learn to read and sound out new vocabulary. Last year, 460 kids read to plush dogs in the library. Try that at home with a real or plushed animal. Stay right there. You're watching the Library Roadshow.
The East Baton Rouge Parish Library believes that making things is good for us all. That's why we have makerspaces at 4 locations and a 3D printing service at the main library. The makerspaces have a variety of tools and equipment to enable both creative and practical projects. This includes 3D printers, sewing machines, audio-visual gear, and much more. Get a library card. Get free access to makerspaces at ebrpl.com/makerspaces.
You're watching the March edition of the Library Roadshow, a production of your East Baton Rouge Parish Library System. I'll never forget hearing the Eagle has landed as we watched the first lunar landing so many years ago. But it's been decades since we've kicked up some space dust. Back to the Moon and On to Mars was this month's presentation during Science Saturday at the library.
So my name is Dr. Serena Auñón-Chancellor. I'm an associate professor of medicine with LSU Health here in Baton Rouge and also an astronaut at the NASA Johnson Space Center. So today we're at the main East Baton Rouge Library and we're going to be doing a session of Saturday Science. And I'm here to talk with the audience today about the challenges that America's space program has with heading back to the moon and then pushing forward towards Mars. I'm also going to talk about what it's like to live on board the International Space Station and really how fun it is for some of the youngsters here in the audience.
No further ado, Serena, thank you.
I like all age ranges when I speak, and I presume today we're going to have everybody from grade school to middle school, high school, even the university level. I have given this talk before, but I love it when I have a lot of young students in the audience because I really am not sure how much they know about the space program, and I want to let them know that we need them to work for us in the future. When I say NASA needs really our kids in grade school, middle school, high school to begin thinking about working for the space program, that's in all areas. That's in chemistry, in science, in engineering, in medicine, you name it. So I really do need them to focus on math and on STEM. And that's because we have very difficult challenges ahead of us. We aim to be on the surface of the moon soon, and that's not going to stop. And then we're going to build habitats on the moon's surface and then push towards Mars. So there's so much work coming. I'll be way too old by the time these youngsters grow up and they're ready to work for the space program. It'll be their turn.
MDs, chemists, dive medical officers, geologists, it's all over the map, right? NASA takes everybody.
I really appreciate the way the East Baton Rouge Library does Saturday Science in conjunction with LSU because it brings people from the whole city, maybe not just the academic setting or not just the industry setting, but it brings anybody who wants to come. It's a free program, and anybody who's interested can come listen just to learn.
We love this partnership with LSU. The next program takes place on March 23rd, and it is right on trend because it's all about the solar eclipse happening in April. And now for today's contest. It's a no-brainer. Visit the library's Facebook page at facebook.com/ebrpl. Show off your edible book. And remember, it really doesn't have to be that edible once you're done with it. That's facebook.com/ebrpl. And while you're there, enjoy. We're not your grandfather's library anymore. What's coming up on the Library Roadshow in April? More with Tasting History, including a visit with Max Miller. Thanks so much for joining us on the Library Roadshow. And remember, your East Baton Rouge Parish Library is open 7 days a week at each and every one of 14 branches. Plus 24/7 on the web. Check us out at ebrpl.com.